Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Noisiness. Just gonna talk about some Yama tips and how to kill Yama. I think Yama's a very easy mid to end game boss, and I was dueling with my best friend who's an iron. So I just want to use this video as an opportunity to go over like the mechanics, the inventory, the gear setup, and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys can use this to get some KC at Yama. I only have 150 KC, but I feel like I could do with my eyes closed mostly. With that being said, I will say that the goal of this video is for you to get 1 KC during a trip, because I want you to understand how Yama works. Like, don't try to extend it until you absolutely understand and you're not dying anymore. Right? So I'm not going to go over like requirements and stuff like that. Like, if you're here, you're probably ready for Yama. So I'm just going to go over how to really kill Yama. Okay? That's the goal of kind of like what I'm going to be doing here. Most of this is going to be a voiceover. I will try to include some sounds here and there because a lot of the fight is based on some sound cues, and it makes it much easier. Alright, with that being said, let's take a look at my current setup. So right now I'm going to be rocking full Torva, my best melee cape, my best melee amulet, my best melee ring, which, since I'm going to be using Emberlight, because you don't really stab Yama, I'm using the Bellator over the Altor. But if you don't have a Bellator, Altor works. Okay, and I'll post some stuff up there about some good gear setups. So yeah, full Torva, Bellator, Ring, Rancor, Emberlight, Avernic, the works. Okay, now I have a shorter 6-way mage switch for Yama's flares. Literally best in slot everything. The better mage bonus that you can bring in about 5 to 6 items, the easier you'll one-shot his flares in phase 3. So I would just try to keep that in mind. Just about whatever you bring, you should two-shot them in the earlier phases. So if you notice, I've literally got the best of the best that you can have. Now, I will say my shield slot could be better, but I'm bringing Book of the Dead to save inventory space instead of something like Elidnus' Ward. Because I noticed that it literally does the same, and that was even before I was using Confliction Gauntlets. So then, to extend trips, I bring 3 Restores, 1 Sandfew, anti-poison, and super combat. Sometimes I don't bring the anti-poison. I think I was just rusty because it had been a while since we did some Yama. So that's why I brought it with me. Once you get used to Yama, you can replace that with either a piece of food, a restore, or something like that. It just depends. I bring heart so I can be, the best magic level I can be. For my runes, I'm on the Arceus spell book, so I'm always casting Mark of Darkness, Ward of Arceus, and what else? Oh, Death Charge. So those 3 are extremely important. Um, I'm pretty sure, yeah, so Mark of Darkness, Death Charge, and then your Thralls. So I feel like I'm missing one more. I don't think so. I think that's everything. Yeah. So yeah, I bring the runes you see in the rune pouch and then death runes so that way I can death charge. And then for my special attack, most of the time, you really just want to get like 2 decent Emberlight hits per phase if possible. Sometimes I'll do 2 in the beginning, 1 in the middle, and then none at the end. If you get 2 really good ones in phase 1, then I'll use Burning Claws phase 2. But in phase 3, unless you're doing the 1 to 5 or 1 to 6 melee method, you're not really going to be using special attack. Okay? So, that's pretty much my gear. Now let's talk about the food that I'm bringing. So I'm bringing some combo eats and some anglers. You bring combo eats because sometimes Yama will trip you up where you're just not paying attention, you're a tick too late, and you don't want to die. Because if you die, then your buddy's got to solo so much damage, right? And that's really, really difficult. So make sure that you have some combo eats. That's why I went with mantas and karambwans. And then I do anglers. Sorry, I had to cut something out. I use anglers because you get a lot of chip damage, and sometimes you'll be sitting at like 90 something, and so I'll eat an angler right before phase three, so that way for phase three I don't have to worry about dying. If you don't have your diaries done like me, and you don't have a bunch of chasm teleports, then you're gonna need to bring a Draman staff and use fairy code DJR. Alright, that'll get you to the chasm, and then you need either 82 or 83 agility to go down the chain. If not, you're gonna have to take the longer way. Alright, so that's just kind of like the beginning. So let's talk about some actual Yama mechanics. Alright, so once you are meeting your duo at Yama, you're going to walk up to the little Yama in the chair and you're going to do challenge. Now, at the start of every fight, what happens is one person gets assigned a tank for that phase. So once you figure that out, the other person's going to end up pressing the circles, and by pressing, I mean standing on the circles. Okay, so one person's going to be tank, the other person is going to be responsible for nullifying each of Yama's basically special attacks. And these come in simple forms in phase 1. So in phase 1, if he does a blue cloud and it makes a specific sound, the non-tank's gonna press, I mean not press, I'll stop saying press, step on the blue circle. Alright, now whatever is the bottom two circles on the north side of the room, that's gonna be your first attack every time, no matter what. So if the bottom two circles are blue, that means the first one he's gonna hit you with is blue. So 90% of the time, the non-tank is going to get to the circle, press it, and then go back to the fight. Alright, then it kind of goes in clockwise or counterclockwise rotation of what the next attack's going to be. So if you do, let's say you've got the compass facing towards Yama, so it's south up, then that, and you start in the bottom right. So if the bottom right one's blue, then the next one's going to be red, then blue, then red, then blue. Alright, after that happens, you'll attack Yama for a little bit, and then one of his, like, more obvious special attack comes in. So this could be his blue waves that come from the northeast and northwest side of the room, or it can be his red lava, which are like lava waves, but they're shorter and choppy and they go east to west. Now, the blue fire waves will just take your prayer down and hit you for damage. The choppy lava waves will stun you in place. So it's important that you pay attention to what's going on and the tank hits the appropriate circle. Okay, and that's just phase 1. Phase 2 kind of does similar, but they're more dangerous. Okay, so what'll happen during phase 2 is phase 2, if it's blue, you'll still get the waves and you'll still get a blue ball that'll hit you and you'll need to step on the circle. But for red, it drops a meteor on the tank. So the non-tank really needs to get to that circle, otherwise both party members are going to take an insane amount of damage, which is why it's really important that you pay attention to the lava or the fire on the floor so you don't get stunned and then everyone gets screwed. Okay? If you get hit by a blue one, it's not nearly as bad. But if you get hit by a red one in phase two, I mean, you're screwed. You might as well scrap the kill. Okay. Usually what I try to do is I'll try to diagonal dodge the blue fire waves if he calls those in. Sometimes in phase one and in phase two, he'll call in these flares. And most of the time, it's better to try to take them out than to gamble on whether or not you have enough damage to where he'll phase out. So he phases out at, I think it's 67% and 33%. Or is it 63 and 33? It's one of those two. You'll notice. But I know the second one's 33 100% of the time. I will say when you start phase two, there is a chance that the tank isn't the same tank as earlier. So what I like try to do is I'll try to go to one of the starting corners that I started in the beginning to figure out who's tank. So just make sure you know who's tank so that way when the specials come you can take care of that and y'all don't take damage. Now sometimes if the tank's not paying attention you can unintentionally drag Yama, and sometimes you're gonna have to fix that. But I wouldn't worry about that until you're well on multiple Yama kills per trip. Okay? So while that is a lot of things, I'll just recap real quick. Phase 1, tank hits boss, non-tank presses circles. Okay? Phase 2, tank hits boss, non-tank really hits circles, or you're going to take a lot of damage. Now, in between phases, going to phase 2 and going to phase 3, you skip across a rock, you kill, I can't remember what they're called, and I can't see it because the screen's so small in the recording software I'm using, but you kill the demon. Alright, now the demon's going to hit you for a 7 every time someone hits him, whether it's you or your duo. And the first attack is always going to be, you're always going to hit him with mage. Okay, so you're always going to hit him with mage, and you can hit him from the third row of rocks. So after you hit him with mage, then you switch to your melee gear, hit him, switch until he's done, and then you get ready for the next phase. So the last phase, phase 3 is where it gets complicated. And it's honestly not that complicated because I'm going to break it down for you. Alright? So let me pause here real quick so I can pull up phase 3 on my monitor and then I'll resume. Alright, so phase 3. Phase 3 is not too terribly complicated as long as you have somewhat of an idea of what you're doing. So to start, you're going to need to have the same tile that I'm marked that says either here or phase 3. And then if you look on my screen, there's a wave here and then there's a flame tile. So what's going to happen is Yama has these crossing flames that are very fast and dangerous during phase 3. When the flames cross the flame tile, you're going to click to the wave here tile. After that's done, you're going to go back to the bottom tile that says here. Now this only gets complicated for a couple of reasons. Right before you click the wave here tile, maybe not exactly right before, but you're gonna need to switch your prayer because Yama changes his attack every single attack. So if it starts with range, it's going to go range mage, range mage, range mage until he dies, okay? So when that happens, when you get the flames, right, when the flames are called in, right before you click up, you're gonna have to switch so you don't take damage from his attack. So what I'm gonna get you to focus on is switching first, clicking second to the correct spot, then clicking on Yama. Because you would rather get to the flame spot than take damage from the flame Because if the flame hits you, it's going to take off your prayer. But if the wrong attack hits you, it's not going to take off your prayer. Alright, so I think that moving is more important. And you don't need to do it as fast as I do or move, pray, attack. You need to get used to it, right? This is a learner guide, okay? So, and all of these have sound cues, okay? And the good thing is, if you remember the very first color of the first circle that's closest to the throne, that's going to be what you need to pray against in phase 3. Alright? So, a couple of things. You're going to pray and then attack. After that, he's going to drop some fireballs. Now, the fireballs are extremely hard to learn at first. But the good thing is, there's only 2 possible fireball patterns, and both of them require you to move 1 tick away. Alright? So, what's going to happen is once the first fireball drops, you're either going to get horizontal or vertical. Alright? So, if you get horizontal, you're going to want to move 1 tick up from the middle fireball. After those drop, you're going to get a diagonal trio of fireballs, and you're going to move, I would guess, looking at my compass, it's northeast. You're just going to move 1 diagonal space away from that. After that one lands, then you're going to get 1 right on top of you, and you move directly to the right, and you will be safe. Now, the way that I do it most of the time is when I move directly to the right, I'm going to be back on the here tile. Alright? So that's what happens if it starts horizontally. If it starts the other way, you're basically going to do that formation backwards. So you are going to end up going, I think instead of up, you'll go sideways, diagonal, right. So that's what happens. Yep, it's, oh wait, I just saw it actually. It's right, diagonal, and then up. Yeah, it's right, diagonal, up. So it is not that bad. Oh wait, no, this is, I got horizontal twice. That's funny. So if you get horizontal, just, you'll know, you just have to practice it. While this is going on, do not attack the boss. Focus on dodging the flames, because when you dodge the flames, it'll just be very quick movements. Alright? Once you are used to it, then you can attack the boss. Okay? So there's that for phase 3. While it's on my mind, alright, while it's on my mind, during phase 3, after his first fireballs, I'm pretty sure he drops flares, and you're gonna have to kill them both, but luckily they're only 1 hit versus the flares in phase 1 and phase 2, which are 2 hits. Alright, so that's pretty much everything in phase 3. Eventually there gets a point to where the firewall is back to back, so you're gonna have to move up, back, and pray the correct thing the entire time. So it sounds like a lot, but once you get used to it, it's not. And you can sacrifice attacking Yama for protecting yourself, okay? And I also want to mention, while it's on my mind, during phase 1 and phase 2, you can get hit by these colored attacks. So if you see or hear flames, you're gonna have to put on Pray from Magic, and that's whether you're the tank or not. If you are the tank, you need to remember to put Pray from Melee back on, otherwise you're gonna remember real quick once he hits you. If you, the blue one is usually a blue cloud at your feet, and you'll have to play range, okay? So technically you could do it without sound, but it would be extremely difficult to attempt it without sound. So that's just something that I wouldn't really do. Sound helps a lot, because the Pray for Mage has this like fire snapping sound, and the Pray from range has this more like dull, deeper sound, and you can really tell the difference really quickly. And I'll also mention that to kill Yama effectively, you need regular sounds on and area effect sounds on. It makes the fight so much easier, and a lot of it is really just sound cues. Okay? So don't forget that in phase 1 and phase 2, he can randomly hit you with those two attacks, but in phase 3, it is every other attack. Alright? So I think that's kind of all that goes with the mechanics. Some more advanced mechanics are if like my buddy was tank, but we accidentally got Yama in a screwed up spot, or we just I don't know, but the way that we took care of it, uh, he would just bring Yama super close so he wouldn't have to move too far to do the sigils or the circles himself. I wouldn't really do that until you've got some KC under your belt. I want you to be able to kill Yama just once by fully understanding everything that happens. And while this video is going, there's going to be some kills in the background. Most of this is just, I'm recording audio over some kills, but I'll make sure to save at least one example kill and talk about some of the things that I went over in the video, and I'll be like, oh, this was this, this was this, okay? And I'll try to include some sounds, or I might just, no, I'll just include some sounds, hopefully here and there, or maybe not. We'll see. But let me pause this here and let's get an example kill. Alright, so I want to now move on to like a live clip. So here I am starting the challenge. He's the tank, so I don't have to pray for melee. You're going to see Yama's first attack happen right here. Boom. Red clouds means red circle. So I know the next circle is going to be blue, and I'm going to know phase 3 is going to be pray for mage. You see that fire? Boom, I know I got to pray for mage real quick. Now, if I had the sound on, you would hear the sound. Alright, blue waves means probably getting the blue attack coming soon. Now, let me pause it. I tried to pause, but if he doesn't do his attack, you'll get flares instead. So here's the floor fire that I was talking about. Gonna dodge those and go to the red circle. Now we're phasing out. So see how it's simple when you know how to do it. Phases 1 and 2 are the quickest to learn. So I was waiting for my chance to cross safely here. So now we're both attacking him and just trying to get out of this to go to phase 2. Alright, cool. Phase 2, we're going to pop back in, figure out who's tank. So I'm going to go to my spot. He's tank, so he's going to go over to his spot. And I'm going to chill right here so I can hit the red. I put Prey from melee on just in case I got caught in a swipe. I throw here. He's kind of dragging it closer so I can reach the blue circle, and then I turn Prey from melee off. Alright, so when you're tank, your job is literally just to keep Yama in the center. Yama thankfully does his blue attack, so I got to press the blue circle, saw the clouds around me, so I prayed from range. If he didn't do his attack and he did flares, the double wave would have really hurt if I didn't dodge it. Alright, so now I'm going to dodge this wave and then go press red. Boom, that's done. We're both safe. I have pray from range back on, but I turn it back off to conserve prayer. Alright, so we're just kind of waiting to get phased out here. I'm pretty sure I do death charge because I'm pushing for more KC. So this is the middle of phase 2, about to head into phase 3. I changed my mage gear and already do an attack, getting ready to jump over, kill the demon, and then prepare for phase 3. So phase 3 is when stuff gets crazy. So let's watch it at full speed, okay? Alright, so full speed, I have the P3 marker. I'm gonna thrall, boom, fire attack. Alright, so fire attack, and I'm praying for mage. Gonna switch to range because he switches every attack. Alright, so another fire attack. Alright, so we've got wave, and we had to change prayer, so I changed prayer first and then went for the wave. Make sure that you change your prayer first before doing the wave. Alright, another fireball. Gonna dodge those very easily. We've got some flares. It hadn't spawned quite yet, so I clicked right through it. Again, sound cues make this a lot easier because you hear the snaps, you hear most of the attacks. So after he hits me with this, luckily he's dead, but I would have had to switch to range and then go forward and back. Alright, so that was like a full speed kill. I'm gonna try to find a kill where the music isn't as loud, but since I was streaming, that might be
Jesus
hard.
Christ.
So I might get copyrighted, but I don't know. We'll see. Give me just a second. You're such an ass. Yama, you are fun though. No kill is the same. I'll be able to fix it. Okay.
Bob the Builder.
Bob the Builder is crazy. What a whore. I'm so
Fuck you and these glyphs.
facts. I'll probably grab it if it's blue.
Yeah, it's true. Nope, never mind.
Haha, yeah, this isn't Krill anymore. This is Yama. I just haven't changed the title. And I don't feel like... I'll change it eventually. I wish Krill was this cool. Actually, just kidding. I like Crow being chill. Krill the chill. Oh, I was wrong. My apologies.
Good, I wasn't even ready.
Yeah, I saw you had melee on, and I was like, oh.
I get confused with fucking phase we're on.
I think it's just because we're just like freaking rolling through so many Yama kills. You're like, what phase are we on?
Melting him.
Yeah, I think your Ancestral's a huge upgrade from Aram's at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, well that's pretty much it for this Yama guide. I know it was a lot of talking and a lot of observing with silent kill, and then a kill with all the sounds on. I'm sorry for the music, but like I said, I was streaming. I might try to make a cleaner video of this in the future, but if you have any questions about Yama, just let me know. Him and I kill Yama for like 2 hours, and I enjoy it a lot because while a lot of things are the same, not every kill is the same, which is nice, and it always gets intense in phase 3. So, if you have any questions, like and leave a comment. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe. You can check out some of the other YouTube videos I've done with old school RuneScape content, and if you made it this far, I really appreciate you. So, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.